Welcome back, guys. Spider-Mania has taken over the summer of 2026, and you can better believe that I was excited. Not only did we get the recent installment with Tom Holland's fourth Spider-Man film, Brand New Day, but a couple of months earlier, back in May, we got the release of one of my anticipated projects for this year, and the topic of today's video, and what will probably be the inspiration for my next Halloween costume this year. I'm talking about Spider-Noir. Spider-Noir stars Nicolas Cage, and it was based on the comic book Spider-Man Noir. Nicolas Cage, as many of you know, is no stranger to playing comic book roles. He was in Kick-Ass. He was even cast as Superman in Tim Burton's movie that was never released. However, he did get to voice Superman, and we did get a CGI homage to his character in the Flash movie. And he was even offered the role of the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie, but he turned it down. He even voiced Spider-Man Noir for the Into the Spider-Verse movie, but this is not the same version as that character. And of course, one of his more famous comic book roles is his performance in Ghost Rider and the sequel, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Spider-Noir released on Amazon Prime, and it even gave you the option to watch it in either color or black and white. I personally watched it in black and white, so it seems right to make this video black and white. There we go. Now, when they first announced that we were getting a live-action Spider-Man series, I was excited, a little skeptical, but still excited. I mean, I was mostly skeptical given Sony's track record when it comes to Spider-Man spin-off projects, but I do actually like the concept of a 1930s noir detective version of Spider-Man. Now, full disclosure, I have not read the original comic book, but it is on my radar, but I'm pretty familiar with the concept. And I did enjoy playing as Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game. And not only that, I got to meet the voice actor for Spider-Man Noir from that game, Christopher Daniel Barnes. And yes, that is the same actor who played Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, in the sequel, Spider-Man: Edge of Time. And yes, that is of course more famously the voice of Peter Parker in the iconic 90s Spider-Man animated series. Now, if your Spidey sense has been tingling, warning you of potential spoilers, then you should listen, because yes, there will be mild spoilers for this review. I won't give away everything, I promise, but here's your spoiler warning. So story-wise, Spider-Noir is pretty tame compared to the source material, and this series had to make some changes for copyright reasons, like character names, origin, things like that. In the original comic, the main character is Peter Parker, who gets bitten by a spider that was released from an ancient artifact and gives him mystical spider-like abilities and becomes Spider-Man. After his Uncle Ben was killed and cannibalized by this universe's version of the Vulture. Jeez, Uncle Ben cannot catch a break. In this series, we instead have Ben Reilly, who, as many of you Spidey fans know, is actually the name of the clone of Peter Parker from the comics, who became the Scarlet Spider and, for a brief time, Spider-Man. Now, in this series, Ben Reilly is a middle-aged private investigator and a former soldier who saved some POWs from human experiments during the war. And he was actually bitten by one of those prisoners who the Nazis were using to create a spider-human hybrid type thing. And as a result, he gets spider-like powers and becomes, well, he doesn't become Spider-Man, again, legal reasons. He's actually known as the Spider. Riley, however, gives up his life as a superhero after he fails to save the love of his life from drowning. But with the emergence of crime led by mob boss Silvermane, Riley once again dons his superhero persona to save New York City. I actually really enjoyed this show. Even though it drifted away a bit from the source material, I thought the story was pretty engaging. Now, normally after a season ends, some people might say that they wish that it was longer, and I honestly didn't feel that way. I think it did a great job of covering all the bases, and I felt pretty satisfied when it all wrapped up. The effects and cinematography were pretty decent. I haven't watched the series in full color yet, so I can't say much about that, but I thought the show was pretty well done in black and white. Not only did it fit the tone of the show, but I thought the black and white effects were done pretty well. It didn't just feel like an iPhone or an Android filter where you can just switch it on and off anytime. You know, like I did for this video. The acting was pretty good, no complaints here. Nicolas Cage's performance really takes the win here. And yes, this is Nicolas Cage. so you can definitely expect Nicolas Cage to go full on, well, Nicolas Cage in certain scenes. Probably my favorite is when a group of guys in a bar starts talking crap about the Spider. So Ben Reilly steps out, and then he puts his mask on and just comes right back inside and just starts taking them all to school. And this was all done with the song Sway playing in the background. I mean, there was even times when he was webbing them up, he was just full on just screaming, "Web, web, 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 web." Kind of reminded me of this.
Go! Go! Go, Web, go!
There was even times when Nicolas Cage as Ben Reilly would have to go undercover, and the roles he would play were amusing. He played a maintenance man to get into his old apartment to get his suit that he hid in a wall. That performance was great. I really enjoyed that. You should definitely check that out. Now, even though this is a Spider-Man project, the Spider is a hero, but he's definitely not a friendly neighbor like Peter Parker. The Spider throughout the show will show that he's not unwilling to take someone down permanently if he needs to, and he's also very cunning. And he will set someone up to take the fall for something, even if it means they get killed in the process. To narrow it down, I thought Nicolas Cage did very well with the role, and he did a great job of blending serious and campy. The supporting cast did great too. Karen Rodriguez plays Janet. She's Ben Reilly's secretary. She's awesome. Lamorne Morris plays Robbie Robertson, a reporter who is both friend and ally to the Spider, and he even knows his true identity. I thought he did very well, and there was even an occasion where he had to mimic the Spider's voice, which I'll get to later, but I thought it was pretty amusing. Brendan Gleeson plays the main villain, Silvermane, and he was pretty good too. Speaking of which, I actually did like the Rogues Gallery in this show. We get the Sandman, Tombstone, Molten Man very briefly. Now, probably my favorite performance for the villains was Andrew Lewis Caldwell, who plays Dirk Layden, aka Megawatt. Yeah, I was one of the many who originally thought that was Electro. Now, I do have one nitpick though when it comes to the villains. I feel like this series would have been the perfect opportunity to give us a live action appearance of Hammerhead. I mean, even in the regular Spider-Man comics, he's already a part of the Mafia, and Ben Reilly, the Spider, taking on the Mafia leader Silvermane, I'm just saying it would have been the perfect time. But I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. May have just been a rights issue, or maybe there are plans down the line. I don't know. I did like how most of the villains were connected to the Spider. We learned that most of the villains were POWs that were part of those human experiments that I mentioned earlier. The music was really good. The score for the series was done by Chris Bowers and Michael Dean Parsons. They nailed it. Now, Lee Jun Lee, who plays Cat Hardy, this universe's version of Black Cat, had a couple of songs that I thought were great. She had a great performance for those. She was a jazz club singer who performed Dream a Little Dream of Me and The Devil You Know, an original song from the series. But what probably takes the cake is the song from the intro credits for each episode. The song Saving Grace was performed by Kirby, and that intro is fire. It's very much a 30s noir detective story mixed with a 007 James Bond movie. Now, the only negatives that I have is I didn't like Nicolas Cage's voice when he was the Spider. I mean, they even make fun of it in one of the episodes. It was just a little muffled and distorted, and I was just confused by how he was making his voice like echo like that. It kind of reminded me of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I'm fine with disguising your voice, but how it was done just kind of threw me off, and it just didn't make sense to me. But other than that, I do recommend that you guys check out Spider-Noir. Even though it deviates from the source material, I think it's a pretty good take on the character, and it's a really great show. I thought the story, the tone, the cinematography, the music, the acting, the fight choreography, all of it was really good. And if you're a fan of Spider-Man, I think that you'll enjoy this show. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Be sure to hit that like button, comment your thoughts on the show down below, and I'll check those out. And if you're enjoying my content, then be sure to web up that subscribe button and hit the bell so your spider sense will let you know when I post a new video. I'll see you next time, guys.